After looking back on what I learned in EdTech 300, I couldn't believe the amount of learning we did in this class. If you're like me, you came into this course not knowing anything because I didn't know a lot about educational technology and all the important elements that it holds. So here are some things that I learned during EdTech 300. Creating a professional learning network. Throughout the course, we used blogging, Twitter, and Slack. Let's start with Twitter. After I found out that we were going to use Twitter as part of our professional learning network, I kind of cringed. It is no surprise that I didn't really like Twitter at the beginning of the course, which I note numerous times in my blog throughout. But I realized Twitter was pretty much amazing with the help of Katya, Amanda, and the EdTech class. I learned how to effectively use Twitter to the advantage of myself and others. On Twitter, we participated in a Ask Ed chat where we interacted with other classmates and other teachers. I appreciated this experience because I was able to follow and be followed by other teachers while learning from them through their tweets. We also interacted with each other on Twitter by encouraging our learning project journeys, reading each other's tweets, articles, and resources, and sharing EdTech tools. Now I have a healthy set of EdTech tools and resources to take with me into my future classroom. Next, we set up our blogs. I was fortunate enough to have the shell of my blog already set up from previous classes. In blogging, I learned how to make my posts look engaging and appealing through the help of my classmates, Katya and Amanda. I struggled with formatting my blogs, but eventually with practice got somewhat good. We interacted with our peers while engaging in their learning projects and blog posts. Next, we used Slack. I found Slack extremely helpful when looking for tips and tricks for our blogging journeys. By learning how to create a professional learning network, I realized the importance of having a professional learning network. It helps with creating professional relationships, creates potential employment opportunities, and allows you to share or view resources and tools online. Next, digital citizenship. It is important to not only have digital citizenship, but to also teach it in your future classrooms. Our world is changing, and with that, we need to realize that it is also developing. We now have a whole other world that is the digital world that we must consider and navigate responsibly. Prior to this class, I tried to ignore the digital world and its importance because I lacked the knowledge of utilizing it effectively. However, I cannot ignore the abundance of opportunities it provides us. While learning about digital citizenship, I found that Mike Ribble's 9 elements of digital citizenship nicely summarized what we needed to know about being a good digital citizen. I will definitely be keeping this in my digital backpack full of EdTech resources to take with me into my future classroom. Another important note, digital literacy. Incorporate lessons in your classroom that teach students to be aware of the dangers on the internet. It is important to teach your students how to identify fake news and fake accounts like scammers and or catfishers. I think that learning this concept was my favorite because I struggled with being able to identify fake news and fake accounts myself. So I'm very grateful for all the resources that we looked over in the weekly plans. Last but not least, digital identity. Learning about digital identity was influential for me. I was always very skeptical and afraid of what I posted online because I was taught to be terrified of it. So what I learned about digital identity is to teach the importance of it without instilling fear into your students. Students are going to navigate the digital world whether we want them to or not. It is our jobs to make sure they do it safely and responsibly. So in the end, it is important to teach these very important concepts about the digital world so that we can minimize potential cyberbullying by understanding our influence on what we post and what we share. In teaching digital citizenship, digital literacy, and digital identity, we can give our students the chance to embrace the digital world and its opportunities while being safe and responsible in their own digital footprints and endeavors online.